Coming up today on Lauren's Crazy Pet Show, we discover Connecticut's only wild cat. We distress with a little horse yoga, then take in a show with some really talented canines. Welcome to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show. Okay, here's a question for you. What do a bunch of hunky bikers have to do with a canine search and rescue group?
So basically what we're doing is we're supporting for the Cadaver Dog Canine. It's a nonprofit organization that is right down here in Easton. She has all the dogs here, and I have all these support riders here, and all the money goes strictly 100% to the cause.
It's so funny because you're thinking, what do all these hunky bikers have to do with a canine search and rescue?
Because they all love animals, no matter if they're dogs or cats or deer or fox. They're all here because they love animals and they love to support them.
Oh, dogs and bikers go hand in hand, absolutely. We are not good at promoting ourselves, so we thank you for being here today. So we are a search and rescue team. We are a nonprofit, and all of our dogs are trained through the International Police Work Dog Association to look for lost and missing humans. That includes cadaver and water recovery as well. And we are a free resource to fire departments and police departments all over Connecticut, and we can go anywhere in the world actually with our certifications.
They're all volunteers.
We are. We're just like Stepney Volunteer Fire Department. So we are all volunteer. We do this because of the love of helping people and the love of dogs. We have a lot of shepherds. They're the best breed. But we also have Labradors. We have a Karelian bear dog. We have a smooth-coated collie. We have English shepherds. And we have our Texas contingent, someone who used to live here and be on our team. He has a bloodhound as well. He can still be deployed with us when he comes home to Connecticut.
Now you get deployed as a team, your
Yes.
whole team, yes?
We get deployed as to the instructions of the fire or police department. They may just want one cadaver dog. They may want one trailing dog. They may say this is an all-out search. We need everybody.
You don't just find cadavers, you do find people who are alive, maybe they were missing.
Yes, absolutely. Our dogs look for any lost and missing hikers. We look for autistic children that wander. We look for dementia patients that wander off. We can look for any lost or missing person, alive or not. We just don't do bad guys. So we leave that to the police canines. Sika here is an HRD, which is the sort of nicer term than cadaver dog, but human remains detection. And she also is air scent. So she's trained to look for generic human scent. So if you don't have a scent article that a trailing dog would need, or don't know where the person left from, so you don't know where to pick up the trail, then you can just release her into the woods and she will do a sweeping pattern until she picks up any human scent and follow it till its source. They work off lead. So once they find that person, they will come back and tell their handler. She does it by a jump alert and bring me back to that subject. Their test is a 40-acre area where there's up to 2 subjects in that area, and they have 2 hours to clear it. They often do it in much less than 2 hours. If you just had humans searching that same size area, it would take 33 people 3.5 hours to clear the area with the same probability of detection as 1 dog and a handler.
Wow.
So their noses are amazing.
So basically what we're going to do is we're going down Main Street, and it's about a 50-mile ride for an hour and a half. It's going through Bethel, Weston, Wilton, and some of Fairfield, and then back up. And then we're going to return here and we're going to have lunch.
You must be very proud to see this turnout. You must feel really good.
I am.
You're raising money for such a wonderful cause.
I am, and I'm very happy that this is happening.
I want people to know they can get involved. I mean, not every dog probably would do great at this, but they can also get involved in other ways.
Absolutely, yeah. Our website, RSARInc, RSARINC.com, has information on how you can help support the team in various ways, either financially or come out and hide for us in the woods and act as a subject during our training days. To anyone that might get involved, want to get involved in this, we can give them information on how to get started and what to look for in their dog.
And it must be very satisfying for you as well, and just this partnership between the two of you.
It is. When you're out working and you see your dog's behavior change and you know that they've picked something up, there's really, even if it's a sad case, there's no better feeling than being able to bring that person home again to their family.
Welcome back to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show. Now, those of you who have cats might think they're a little wild now and again, but here in Connecticut, we actually have wild cats, and they're probably a distant relative of your house cat, and their numbers are growing.
Today we're going to talk about bobcats. My name's Ginny Apple. I'm a master wildlife conservationist with the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. And we want to tell you about our native bobcats in Connecticut. We only have one member of the cat family, which is called the Felidae. They have a lot of very similarities to what your house cat does, but they're very ferocious. They're called the Spitfire of the animal kingdom. So they're not something you want to have as a pet. Anyway, they're in every state except Delaware, which is kind of funny to me because the University of Delaware's mascot is bobcat. But so I don't know
funny.
why, but Delaware, because of their topography, you know, a lot of water and everything, it's very fragmented. Doesn't mean one wouldn't wander in there, but pretty much not there. Their distant cousin is the lynx, which everybody says, oh, we have lynx in Connecticut, but we don't. They are very well suited for northern climates, for the snow. Bobcats have trouble in more than 6 inches of snow, but lynx have padded feet and longer legs that allow them to move along in the snow. There's 7 species of wild cats in North America. Those include the bobcat, the jaguarundi, the cougar, and a few others. Our bobcat is known for its bob tail, which can be up to 6 inches long. It has black on the top with a white tip on the tail, so when you see it moving along, you can usually see that white tip on the tail. They have white under their belly. This is a roadkill bobcat that we've used, so you can see a little bit white under their belly with the spots. Very distinctive. Their ears are black but have white tufts in the middle, and these are thought to be a marker for their kittens when they follow them in brush. They can see the little white markers bobbing along. So all of their coats are unique, like our fingerprints. So every bobcat, even though it might have a similar color and similar spots, it'll be enough different that if somebody was watching a number of bobcats, they could tell them apart. We think there's around 3.5 million bobcat in North America. Their main predators are mountain lions and grizzlies, which we don't have here in this part of the country. But here they die from starvation, roadkill, and rodenticide. We probably have maybe around 60 bobcat a year that we find that were killed by cars. There's probably more, but oftentimes they'll drag themselves off into the underbrush. We have done a collaring project in Connecticut trying to get a sense of the population and its movement. Up till now, we've collared 105 bobcats, and they're small collars that drop off in 3 months. And we found through that some of these bobcats are what we call ex-urban, which means there's quite a few bobcats. There's one we call the Hartford bobcat that go around the cities because guess what? There's a lot of dumpsters, and at dumpsters there's a lot of rats, mice, you know, squirrels, things that eat garbage. So the bobcat has adapted and found that that's a pretty good, easy source, you know, of food. We hesitate to say how many we think we have in Connecticut, but it's probably upwards of 1,000. They rest more than wander. Their territories are usually 1 to 4 miles, and they have resting areas that they'll go and rest. So they have to eat about 2 to 4 pounds of food per day. They're what we call generalists, so they aren't that choosy. They used to prefer the New England cottontail, but that's an endangered species now. When we do necropsies on their stomach, there's a lot of squirrels. We found whole, all mice babies, you know, all kinds of stuff. So they eat all kinds of little things, and a lot of things are little things that people consider pests. So they have some amount of rodent control. Again, they're one of Connecticut's true carnivores. Even though they're small, their teeth are really adapted for killing. Their canines are spaced, those are the ones in the front, spaced to fit on the vertebrae of an animal, so they'll put it on the vertebrae and then they reach their arms around and slash their throat with their claws. So they use sight and sound to hunt. They can see 8 times greater than us. They have yellowish, beautiful yellowish brown eyes. And again, they stalk and ambush. So they'll lay in the grass like, you know, one could be like right out here and we don't even know it. Like our talking wouldn't necessarily bother it because it's just going to stay there and watch whatever it might be. Or it might just be resting. They do prey on domestic livestock, mostly would be chickens. A lot of times bears get blamed for the chicken coop being raided, but oftentimes it could be a bobcat, it could be a raccoon. There's all kinds of animals that do raid chicken coops. It will eat small pigs, sheep. It's all prey specific. If there's a lack of, wild prey, then they might go for something else.
But they've really made a comeback because at one time they were almost gone from Connecticut.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much a habitat thing. Now we've gotten some more forests, some more marsh areas. They tend to like marsh areas. They like to have a certain amount of rock outcroppings, even though they do climb trees and they will sit and sleep in trees. The forest isn't as important to them as to bears, but a lot of their prey species, their habitats are in forested areas.
I love this. Even in our beautiful little state of Connecticut, there is such diverse wildlife. You just have to look for it. Just like I found this beautiful aster. It's wood aster. Absolutely wonderful. When we come back, we've got a wonderful segment. Have you ever heard of horse yoga? Yes, there really is such a thing. Stay tuned, you're gonna love it. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show. I am here in Stonington with Nevada, and you will not believe what I'm about to do. Yep, horse yoga.
Place that back hand down on your horse's spine and reach up. Remember to add some pressure to that back hand.
So Deidre, I mean, horse yoga?
Yeah, horse yoga. We call it our Equizen class. It's different positional changes on horseback. We use it to help stretch out upper body, lower body, core strength, and to stretch out your spine. Some of our riders have back injuries, some of our riders have had a stroke. So it helps everybody, benefits your mind, super relaxing. It benefits the horses a little bit, gives them a stretch. Afterwards, our riders get to dismount, untack, and actually give their horses a bit of a massage as like a thank you for letting them get on and do their class.
I also love the way it's sort of another dimension to a relationship with the horse.
Yes. When we do our deep breathing exercises, your breath actually connects with your horse's breath, and you actually breathe as one, which is super beneficial. It makes your horse kind of create a bond with you and just makes them a little bit more relaxed throughout the class, knowing that you're doing it together.
And it also, I can say from myself, it really forces you to concentrate on what you're doing. It takes your mind away from everything except for the present moment.
Yes, so we use the leaders to help the rider to concentrate more on what they're doing, more than what their horse is doing. This gives them a little bit more of a benefit to stretch themselves a little bit further than they're used to. It makes, like you said, really concentrate on what their body is doing and what they are doing.
So one of the women in the class, she told me she broke her back. I mean, I couldn't believe it because she was so agile, and she says it's because of the yoga. It's one of the things that have really helped her.
Yes, so when she started, I had just started teaching the class, and she was a lot more stiff than you saw today. She could only go like an inch or maybe 2 inches, depending on the stretch. So her keeping up with the class, she's able to stretch plenty and be back to where she is and hopefully stretch out a little bit more.
Yeah, I had broke my back 4 years ago, and I came here to get it more, to straighten my back, and it helps. It makes me feel good and makes me feel more stronger in my back and everything.
So Craig, this is just a little bit different. We were here before for your veterans program.
Yeah. You know, we have a very diverse population that we're serving with through Horses Healing Humans. We have a lot of children that come to the program, and then we have adults that are here seeking the benefits of working with the horses.
The last time we were here for your veterans program.
Correct.
Which is a little bit different.
So that program obviously targeted towards serving veterans and their family members. We also do work with law enforcement and other first responders and offer them, a sense of well-being, a sense of community. That program is primarily geared to be an unmounted program, so they're going to be working off horseback along generally 2 to 3 veterans working with a horse throughout the course of the lesson. And then the great thing about that program, because of the commitment that a lot of the vets have towards the farm, the horses, and each other, we'll see them out here throughout the week, volunteering and helping with a variety of activities to sustain the farm here.
And that, of course, has really changed lives, because I remember some that I spoke to said it's just been a lifesaver.
It has. We've got a couple of the veterans are here probably 4 or 5 times a week, and this has helped reshape their purpose in life, and it's been amazing to see the transformation and hearing about all the progress that they've gone through and about all the relief that they get when they do come here.
The things I've seen, with riders becoming a lot more agile or becoming more independent is just absolutely amazing.
Now, you don't have to have had an injury to take part.
No, not at all. We offer our classes out to everybody. We do our disability classes, you know, our therapeutic portion of it, but we also offer this to anybody just wanting to get on horseback but they're nervous. It's a great way to get involved with horses and actually get on a horse and not have to feel the stress of, you know, a horse trotting or, you know, cantering, where they can just walk, whoa, relax, breathe, and just have a nice relaxing class.
Oh, that was so wonderful. You gotta try it. Contact Horses Healing Humans. Right here in Stonington, they offer so many different programs, and this one was a real winner. We had so much fun. Look at these pups. Aren't they so cute and so talented? We've been invited exclusively by the Ridgefield Playhouse in Ridgefield, Connecticut for a front row seat at Muttville Comix. So Johnny, as I'm watching the show, all I could think of was, can you come and train my dogs?
Well, I got to tell you the truth. All you got to do is just spend a little time each day. See, they got to understand what you're trying to get them to do. That's half the battle. Why are they trying to get me to roll over, you know? Because it's play, you get a treat, it's fun.
And they seem to love what you're doing. How did you get started in this? It's marvelous.
I started off in the circus with my father. I was selling cotton candy when I was a little kid. And I used to hang around the clowns. I made best friends with the clowns, and they told me I should go to the clown college in Venice, Florida for Ringling Brothers Circus. I was only 17 years old.
And how did you incorporate the dogs?
The dogs came as a thought because Lou Jacobs had a very funny little chihuahua, and I loved the idea that the dog got the better of the trainer. That was the concept. And I said, that's pretty funny, the dog making the trainer look like a fool. That's the way I do my show. But it's all like choreographed, of course.
And they're all rescues. Talk about
some
that.
Some are rescued, some were free to good homes, some were given to me. They all have a little story. Julie was given to me, believe that? Yeah. Lady came up to me, I have this beautiful little dog, she might be good in your show. And that was 4 years ago.
Now, when you started out, Johnny, did you start out with just one dog and expand? Talk about that.
I started off, I used one dog in one of my clown routines. Her name was Freckles. She was from the shelter in Brewster, New York. I was staying up there with my aunt and uncle at the time. I was out of work and I started training little Freckles, and I was having so much fun with it. I said, man, this is great, you know, because the dog was so eager to please you. And I incorporated her into my clown routine. And that's how it started.
And how did it expand to the troupe you have now?
Like now, hey, do you want this dog? Hey, there's this great dog, you know. It's like I couldn't say no after a while. I love the working off the kids, working off the audience.
You really seem to. It really
That's
seems
what I like to
it's
do.
so rich and people get so involved with you.
It's actually one of these things where they can see that you love what you're doing. That's the bottom line right there. Because obviously we're not all rich, we're just trying to get down the road to the next place. So you got to love what you're doing, you know, and try to get to the next town.
Now, can you name each of your dogs?
Julie, Jenny, Lucy, Jack, Girl, Junior, Lady, Pee-wee, Tina, Frankie. I'm starting to lose.
Now, when you're out there on stage and they're all getting along and having fun, do you ever have like a mishap where one tries
Sometimes I
to run
forget
away?
their names because I'm so like,
Right.
Mike, come here, Mike.
Do they always perform on cue, or sometimes they could be a little
No,
bit
they're all,
naughty?
yeah, nothing's perfect.
Is the training difficult? You have to do it every day, I would assume some.
Well, what I do when I'm home, I have a garage, and I just get out there every morning just to keep in shape. And when I get the new dogs out there with the other dogs, they kind of observe. They're observers. One of my lines is any dog can be a good dog. That's one of my lines that I've used for years, because so many people just throw their dogs away to get rid of them because they have no patience. Or they chew on the furniture, they pee in the house. You know, it's all things that can be corrected. Just spend a little time with them, just like kids. They depend on you and you depend on them.
Who has more fun, you or the dogs?
I think I do. I think Julie does. Julie has one trick she just learned. You want to see it?
Of course.
Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Hey, bye everybody.
Oh, that was so much fun, and the kids loved it. We hope you loved it too. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to watch Lauren's Crazy Pet Show every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. right here on MyTV9 Connecticut.